The references that I have used for this is, again, I've mentioned this earlier also. One specific reference that I had mentioned last time was this PDF, which is your O'Reilly MLOps PDF. It is one of the finest textbooks. We are all in the learning stage, and this book, the way it's presented this concept for any beginner, I think it's like very overwhelming. It's one of the finest resources that I have had. Other than that, you can observe data, how the data is drifting, what threshold parameters they set. It could be model drifting also, like there could be issues in the model as well. Like the data is not drifting drastically, but the model is underperforming. How that can be tackled, how all that is done using MLOps concepts, everything has been mentioned over here. Okay, cool. Now let's do some brainstorming before we wrap up with the session. Before I hand it over to Praveen sir. Okay, there are some questions which I have. Okay, I did not do it last time because I wanted to complete the whole session and then I wanted to start off. So can anyone just, I think you guys can refer to the chat box. Okay, I'll have to switch between screens. My first question is, it says that MLOps and DevOps is, yeah, so it's DevOps and ML. Sorry, there was some, I lost my screen. So DevOps plus ML is MLOps, but AIOps is AI for DevOps. So is it true or is it false? So what this question says is that MLOps is a combination of DevOps and ML. We know that. I agree. I just said it at the beginning of the session. But it's saying that AIOps is artificial intelligence for DevOps. So what do you have to say? Can you come on the chat box and say if it's true or false, guys? Okay, I have one true. Others? Let's keep this interactive, please. Let's finish it off with some interaction. Okay, everybody's saying true. Guys, please read the question carefully. Okay, Mr. Chayan Gulati says it's false. Finally, some variation in the answer. Thanks. Others, everybody is saying true, and you're saying it's false. Okay. Any other response? Okay. Okay, we have more false. Superb. So this trick always works. When I say that, please read the question carefully and stuff like that, people tend to get confused. So guys, it is true. It is true. And I'm sorry if I derailed you. Maybe you were going to say true, but then I said I behave like this, and so you said false. MLOps is ML plus DevOps. We already know that. But yeah, exactly. Nobody would penalize you. Exactly. We are having fun, guys. Please, we are absolutely having fun. I'm still hooked up to that cricket example. I still have IPL matches going on in my head while I was explaining MLOps. So please enjoy the session, even if you have wrong answers. Don't feel bad about it. I made these questions, and when I asked myself these questions, I gave the wrong answer a couple of times. So imagine the kind of weirdness we are okay to live with. It's completely fine, guys. So why is it not false, guys? If you look it up the net, you'll see that AIOps is actually artificial intelligence for DevOps purposes. DevOps needs artificial intelligence to monitor the performance of the model. Predict like how is the trend in the market going to change. So for all that, they need artificial intelligence. So it is actually true. You actually need MLOps. You actually need artificial intelligence for DevOps. That is AIOps. So it is actually true. Okay. I'm sorry if I confused you, but that's okay. Okay. Which of the following issues will MLOps not resolve? Which of the following issues will MLOps not resolve? A, an underperforming model 3 months after deployment. B, a real-world data drift. C, the business governance and audits associated, and frequent testing need of the model in production. So let me elaborate. Will MLOps resolve or not resolve a model which is performing very poorly after 3 months of deployment? Okay, will MLOps help you to resolve that issue? In another case, it says that there is a data which is drifting in the real world. Will MLOps help you to resolve that issue? Another example, it says that the business governance and audit is something which is needed by an organization. Will MLOps help you to do that? and frequent testing of the model which is in production is needed to be done. Will MLOps help you to do that? Which of the following will MLOps not help you to do? A, B, C, or D? Okay, everybody says C. It's not will resolve. I'm saying which will it not resolve? Everybody saying C. Somebody saying D. You guys are confusing me now. Let me see the question one more time. Okay. So most of you are saying that it will not help you to perform governance and audit. And one of you, I guess, said that it will not help you with the frequent testing of the model in production. Okay. I would like to discuss. Is it possible for anyone to come on the microphone? Anybody who said B or C or D? Anyone who's comfortable to come on the microphone. Let's keep this super interesting. I'll actually tell you how you can think about it. Anybody from the participants? Can we have one of you please volunteering on the microphone? Anyone? And please don't feel shy. I don't think I come out as a very strict person. Come on. Can we have one person at least? Whoever comes online will get a prize.
So I think so C, because business government, it depends on the management, sir.
It depends on the management, right? Okay.
Yes.
So I am the management and I want to have the control in my hand, whether I want to approve this model or not. Can MLOps help me to do that? It depends on me, I agree, but I want to do it. I say that I want to do it. Will MLOps help me? I guess it will, right? We just saw that the approval one. So it will. My question was, what will it not help me resolve? Okay. Thank you so much. Can we have somebody who said D? I think two of you are saying D, Mr. Sunil Kumar and
yes, sir. I have told D, sir. D, sir. Because
you said D, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually,
yeah.
If you put on the codings and all, giving the input variables as a wrong one, the ML will be, the accuracy may or precision may get reduced, or the accuracy will be, elapsed. So that I have preferred D, sir.
Okay, I get your point. Very well said. But I would like to correct you. I would like to correct you by saying that my question was, what will it not help me resolve? And the option said continuous testing. So you are saying that the model's performance will degrade. I just said that we can conduct smoke tests every time I want to train, test my model with. So I can always conduct a smoke test irrespective of the real world data. I can conduct a smoke test. What is a smoke test? Basically, once everything is set and done, it's like just final asking, it's like the last round of interview which you have with the HR. In a company, the last round of interview which you have with the HR, wherein it tries to know you as a person, what are your expectations, blah, blah, blah. These are the things. Your technical, everything is done. You've passed all those, you can say stages, and now it's the last few things that you need to test the person on. That is what the smoke test does, and it absolutely is possible in production. So I'm sorry to say C and D are not the right answers. See, this is why we need to get the perspective right. What I have mentioned in A and B, A to nobody will say. A to it is built. I just showed you the example wherein a model which was performing poorly, after 3 months, it was again lifted back up. The performance was improved. So MLOps will help you to do A. I have explained how it will help you to do C and D. But guys, does MLOps have control over real world data drift? Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sripati. MLOps has no hold over the real world data drift. You and I have the hold over that. Today I want to open YouTube and watch hockey videos. I'm not too much interested in hockey, although it's our national sport. But is it? Or kabaddi? I'm not really sure. See, I'm not even sure. That's how poor my knowledge is with respect to this matter. But what if I start watching hockey videos because India is doing really well in the Olympics? I start watching hockey videos, hockey tutorials. 3 days later, forget 3 days, I guess tomorrow in the afternoon when I open YouTube, my first and the second tutorial video or an interview video could be with Dhanraj Pillai. So that's what my point is. The real world data drift is not in MLOps hand. It is in your hand. It is in my hand. Okay. If it's a natural disaster, then it's in the Almighty's hand, but it's not in MLOps hand. MLOps hand is like, what is in MLOps hand? MLOps hand. In MLOps hand, we have the ability to tackle that data drift. So it was a very tricky question that I thought of. That real world data drift is absolutely not in MLOps' hand. So it will not help you resolve that issue. How can MLOps stop real world data drift? Like, imagine you're sitting on your laptop and you're listening to a particular song on Spotify, and suddenly you hear a ghazal. You generally don't listen to ghazals, but you listen to a ghazal and you like it, and then you start listening to ghazals more often. Spotify will now recommend more ghazals to you. MLOps cannot stop you from listening to ghazals. MLOps cannot stop that data drift that you are generating. So real world data drift is not in MLOps' hand. It can tackle the problem that arises out of it. But if you word like grammatically, if you look at it, my point was that. Okay. So good try, guys. Good try. Next question. MLOps lets you model versioning and upgradation. You set a threshold of 80% accuracy, which is your F1 score for any model that is in production. What does this mean? Can anybody come on the microphone and tell me this? What does it mean? Anyone? Just read the third question. There is a statement that's mentioned over there, and how can you explain it to me as in layman's language? I don't know anything about MLOps. Who wants to go for this? Please, let's make it interactive, guys. I'm already enjoying it. The people who spoke on the microphone.
That means the model is performing very well, sir. If the accuracy is more than 80%, the model is performing very well, and it will increase the business agility, sir.
Superb. And what happens if the model's performance degrades and it goes below the threshold? Which is 80%?
If it's below the threshold value, automatically we won't, business agility will be less.
Business agility would be less. But
incorrect accuracy will always reduce the business accuracy, sir.
I agree completely. And what will you do to solve that problem?
We have to train again and again, sir. The model have to be trained again and
Super.
again with a good algorithm. If you put the algorithm really convert to model, then it will be transferred to that production server, sir, so that we'll get the business agility once again.
Superb. Bingo. Amazing. So, yeah, very good. Very well said. So if you have this particular model, an algorithm which is there, it is degrading with time because of obvious reasons. I have said this millions of times. I'm not going to repeat it again. But because of that, what's happening is that this model's performance is degrading, and now I need to push it back beyond, say, a 90%, 95%. What do I do for that? I try to retrain the model, and once the model is retrained, a new version of the model comes up. So it's analogous to what you see in the morning when you wake up. You see a new 35 new app updates pending, 12 new app updates pending. Similarly, there will be a notification on the screen of this particular human being who's monitoring this, that this model has gone below the threshold. We need to retrain it. There's a notification that's going to be generated. Okay. And then you can retrain it with the new version will now be deployed. Okay. Obviously, if the new version is deployed and it's not performing well, you can go back to a previous version or you can upgrade it. That's up to you. Okay. There could be possibility that the data drifts and again it drifts to come back to the previous stage. Okay, like what is happening now with the air quality index model? Remember I gave you the example. Now the unlock is starting again. Okay, now again people are starting to go out. Okay, now the pollution level is again going to increase. The model that you had in 2019 December is going to work pretty well in 2022 January. I'm hoping. You're getting my point? Because again the unlock has started and now people are starting to go out. Okay, I hope that makes it very clear. So the data drift is not always necessary that it will keep drifting and go away from what I had earlier. Like what today my main data is, can tomorrow be an outlier, and then day after tomorrow that outlier can again become my main data. That's how I want to place it. Okay. The last question, after which I'm going to be handing it over back to Praveen sir. Okay, this is interactive. So you have watched a live session on MLOps, which you are doing right now, and then there's this person who's done the model training part, and then he says that he's done with the CI pipeline. Basically, he's forgotten because model training is definitely not the last part of the CI pipeline. Then there are different options, A, B, C, D. How are you going to approach this person? How are you going to help that person? So this is in reference to the steps or the tasks involved in the CI pipeline that I had shown you, wherein we were doing the bash command, the CLI commands, we were adding one by one task. He had done it in iris training, if I want to relate with that. Iris training वाला जो step था ना, उधर तक करके ये भूल गया कि आगे क्या करना है. So you can either help him by reminding that he's supposed to perform the next steps like module registry, publish the artifacts, then his CI pipeline will be over, then he can proceed for CD. Or you can say that he's actually done with his CI pipeline and technically he just needs to release it. Like I said, I use the term release and build the CD pipeline. Or you can say that, you will check if his setup has the variable groups, because variable groups are very important, without which the pipeline cannot run. So then that could have caused a problem in his run. Or else you just tell that person that, okay, just have the Azure, connect it with Azure ML using the CLI command, and the rest everything Azure will do for you. Which is the correct option and why? A, B, C, D. Okay, C. Others, please reply, guys. Please put it on the chat box. Can we have some answers? Okay, we have answers for C. Please read the question carefully and then give the answer. Please read the question carefully and then give the answer. I hope from the previous 3 questions you've understood that these are not direct questions. Okay, everybody sing C. Okay, I have an A. Okay, let me explain this. Guys, please mention that he hasn't run it yet. He hasn't run the pipeline yet. If he hasn't run the pipeline yet, how can he get an error in the run? There is no run, so how can he get an error? So C is ruled out completely. D is absurd. You cannot just connecting it with Azure ML is the third step. Okay, connecting it with Azure ML is the third step, and only the third step. After that, we had so many steps, right? So it's not possible for Azure to do the rest of everything, because unless you give the tasks, how will it proceed? Second one is he's actually done with the CI pipeline. He cannot be done with the CI pipeline unless he, the model that has been created has been registered and the artifacts have been published. So the correct answer is A. You have to remind him that he's yet to perform model registry and publish the artifacts. He's only done the model training part and he stopped there. He has to now publish, he has to do model registry, get the results, publish the artifacts, and then his CI pipeline is over, then he can proceed for the CD pipeline. So A is your correct answer. You cannot proceed for CD unless your model is registered or unless you have the artifacts. At least the steps that I have shown you, you'll be needing an artifact generated through a directory in which you'll have the entire deployment pipeline dependent. Okay, so that wraps up the session. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a great experience over these 2 sessions. I have learned a lot, and I am hoping that I've been able to serve a little bit of that information to you guys. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Back to you, sir.
Hey, hi, thank you so much, Sagnik, and thank you everyone for joining the session. And yes. I'll be sharing the link, feedback link quickly here. Okay, so you guys can provide your one-word feedback on how you felt about the live session. Okay, if you felt good, mention that in the comment section. If you felt terrible, do mention it. Nobody is obliged to share the positive only. If you felt bad, you mentioned it. So what we are looking for is the honest feedback. So that helps the other people as well, whoever come across the post, to make up their mind whether they should attend the live session, whether it's worthy, of their time, or whether, we are sharing something useful, something knowledgeable, whether it's helping out the individual or not. So nobody is obliged to write good only. What we are looking for is the honest feedback. Please do write your one word feedback on the link that I have shared. I have shared the link for the LinkedIn, Instagram, and the Facebook. So some of you may not be having the LinkedIn account, so you guys can share your feedback on the Instagram. If you do not have the Instagram, then please share it on the Facebook. If you do not have either of these, none of these, then please create one. It's high time. Okay. And I'll highly request all of you to please be active on the LinkedIn. If you are college students, then I'll suggest to open up your LinkedIn account, because that will help a lot in your career, because that's where you'll be getting a lot of information from the IT sector, or from the corporate. You'll be able to connect and network with the people from the industry. So there's a quick suggestion from my end. Anyone who would like to ask any question to Sagnik for his session, any technical question, anything in general, maybe. He has been sole responsible person for conducting research on this ML ops and sharing the knowledge with all of you. So thank you so much, Sagnik, once again. And I'll open up this forum for everyone to ask their doubts, if there are any, to Sagnik or me, or anything in general. If there is no doubt, please mention no in the chat window. So we'll know, okay, we are good to wrap up the session maybe. And while you guys are sharing your responses, let me tell you that please do not forget to mark your attendance. So same concept goes here. Like, you guys can provide your attendance or mark your attendance on either of the platforms, either LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whichever account you have, because that will help us sharing the participation certificate. We'll be knowing exactly who have joined the session and who had not joined the session. So please mark one word, that is joined. Okay, nothing else. You just have to mention joined. That's all. All right. And people who are new to us, you can find all the live session recordings that have been that have been held in the past on the Facebook. All the live session recordings are available over there. Please go through that and leverage that, upskill yourself, cross-skill yourself. Please do check on our LinkedIn page to see the announcement for the future live session. And we release daily ML and AI content on the Instagram channel. You can follow that if you are really passionate about the data science. That's all from my side. I believe I'll not take much of time. Maybe, as I said, I'm waiting for your guys' response, so we will know we are good to wrap up the session. Thank you so much, Sunil. And,
yeah, thank you everyone for the kind words.
Can we have a response from other participants as well, so we know we are good to wrap up the session?
Great session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Farooq. Thank you so much.
A very good evening, sir. Very
good evening.
This is Bharani Dharan, research scholar Vistas. Actually, I am doing a data center automation. This CI/CD automation pipeline is very helpful on automating that things in a proper way. As I told already, it will make you to do the business agility in a very good way, as well as it will be helpful for the society. I hope so. So I thank very much for the effective resource persons in the today's session. Thank you, sir, for this great opportunity you have provided to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bharanidhar. All credit goes to Sagnik. He has been solely responsible person to conduct the research on this ML ops and share with you all, as I said earlier. And we conduct such a free live session, almost every weekend. So there's not a penny charged for these live sessions. So please feel free to attend all the live sessions that we are conducting. Please spread the words among your friend circle and whoever data scientist is in your friend circle. So that's how we are giving it back to the community, and that's how we are helping the young data science aspirants. Yeah, thank you so much, Bharanidhar, for sharing your feedback. Okay, we have lots of lots of responses coming in, I guess. So we are good to wrap up the session. Anything else, Sagnik, from your side before we call?
Yeah, so that would be it. Like I said, like Bharanidharan rightly said, it's for the future. Automation is the future, and MLOps is a fantastic concept. I would request everybody to, those who are willing to establish a career in data science and machine learning. This is going to be a massive boost of your CV.
Exactly.
It's going to be a huge boost for your CV. It's so amazing, and the best part is that it's not very complicated, and yet it's doing a lot of complicated things in a very simplified manner.
Exactly.
That's the best part about
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
As the Sagnik rightly said, if you are into data science field, you will have to learn MLOps sooner or later, because this is the demand of the industry, and that's the reason we conducted live session on the MLOps. Trust me, your manager would be asking sooner or later to learn MLOps, and because there's a very simple reason. If you have built some ML solution, there has to be somebody who can put this into production. And now people are not relying on the like maybe say cost cutting, or maybe maybe whatever reason you would like to point out, but you will be expected to know MLOps, put your ML solution into production, being a data scientist. So please learn it. And last recording of ML Ops is already uploaded on the Facebook. Please go through that if you have missed on that. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Thank you, Bhanuja. Thank you so much.